This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century. Greeting, boys and girls, scholars and laymen. Welcome to another wonderful edutainment edition of The Art of This Thinks. We All Be News, Radio, and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century. I'm your host for this empowerment segment, Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2, the Artivist. And I recently just saw the Dave Chappelle specials on Netflix. Dave Chappelle is probably my favorite living comedian, my favorite one. He is probably the best of his generation, arguably so, top 3 or top 5 in my humble opinion. I have a couple of Dave Chappelle stories I want to share, but one in particular. Dave Chappelle was an admirer and a friend of the late Baba Dick Gregory. Baba Dick Gregory was not only a comedian, but also a civil and human rights advocate, a true trailblazer in humanity. Well, I want to start. I had met Dave Chappelle back in 2002 during the Mike Tyson fight weekend when Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis had their bout in Memphis back in 2002. I was familiar with Mr. Chappelle from seeing the movie, the cult classic Half Baked, which came out, I believe, back in 1998. I actually saw it with my mom. And, it was interesting. I remember that night because it snowed real hard in Memphis and we had a day off. So not only were we able to see the movie Half Baked at the movie theater, but we also had a snow day the following day to relax. So that was like, a favorite memory of mine from high school. But anyway, Dave Chappelle was there. He was doing correspondence for the Jay Leno Tonight Show. He was doing correspondence for that. And I thought it was interesting because me and my family, my mom, my brother, and my sister, we all were hanging out, stargazing at the Peabody Hotel downtown. That's the legendary Peabody Hotel. It was all types of characters in town. I mean, he had all types of who's who. We saw Charles Oakley, who was built like an oak tree. Thomas Hitman Hearn, who actually got Memphis roots. He was in the Peabody lobby. Those guys. Alonzo Mourning, who had a stank attitude. Him and Evander Holyfield, for some reason, they thought they were too good to pose with people or to say hello. Well, it is what it is. But what I thought was unique was the fact that Dave Chappelle was by one of the hotel entrances by the lobby, just by himself, just mulling around, just keep it to himself. And I spotted him. I said, "Hey, Mr. Chappelle, how you doing? I'm a fan of your work." And I told my mom, "This guy's gonna be big time. He's gonna be a big time dude." He was very humble, man. Dave Chappelle was very humble. Like I said, he wasn't trying to, be all out there. He was very bashful. But the next year, the Chappelle Show came out, and the rest is history. The Chappelle Show came out. Cause I also remember Dave Chappelle and Robin Hood, Man in Tights. Now, he didn't wear no dress per se, but he did wear tights. It's another cult classic, in my opinion. Robin Hood and Man in Tights. Dave Chappelle was in that as well. But next year he did hit big with Chappelle Show. Then he made his exit stage right, and now he's hotter than ever. It's a Dave Chappelle renaissance. But anyway, that was a backstory. But fast forward to the passing of Baba Dick Gregory, I was able to attend the private wake for Baba Dick Gregory at Howard University on Friday, September the 15th. You know, his inner circle, close friends, the family, relatives, all types of unique people were there. I was actually surprised the people who was aware of me, even some of his close family and friends knew who I was. So yeah, they always tune in to see how you gonna go off with me 1 minute or the next, or they really appreciate the work I was doing overall. But it was interesting. But anyway, Dave Chappelle came in, and all the people there, all types of unique people, accomplished folks were there. The room kind of paused. So he was walking towards Baba's casket, and I was like in his pathway, not obstructing him, but I was like near the way he was walking, and he just reached his hand out to me and shook my hand, which I thought was interesting. I said, man, he just shook my hand, okay? He don't know who the hell I am, but he just went out his way to shake my hand. I said, oh, cool. So he was there with his mom and sister, I believe, and also a brother I knew from a previous event that we attended together several years ago. And it was interesting. So I started talking to Mr. Chappelle, my mom and I, and tell him how we met him some years ago, and he recalled with fondness about his experience in Memphis for the Tyson fight. And like I said, this is before he was really world renowned as Dave Chappelle, right? This is right before, on the brink of superstardom. And I recognized, I asked, this is your mom, Dr. Yvonne Seong. Dr. Yvonne Seong. That's his mom. A lot of people don't know that Dave Chappelle comes from a very unique family background on both sides. Dr. Yvonne Seong was actually personally hired by the Patrice Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba personally hired Dr. Yvonne Seong to be a part of his cabinet in the Congo. He came over to America in 1960 to meet with President Eisenhower, who refused to meet with him. But Dr. Yvonne Seong, who was 23 at the time, was able to gain an audience with Patrice Lumumba. And he was very impressed with her confidence and her intelligence. She could speak French, which was also a definite plus. And Dr. Yvonne Seong, she was able to work for the legendary Patrice Lumumba, who was actually assassinated by the Belgians and the CIA because he wanted to empower the indigenous people of the Congo. And the Congo has not been right since that time. So they took out Patrice Lumumba. I believe he was just 36 or 37 years old when they killed Patrice Lumumba, January 18th, 1961. But Dr. Seong is a very interesting person. This is Dave Chappelle's mom, mind you. She was born in Washington, D.C. in December 1937. She is a pioneer in African American studies curriculum development and the first African American woman to be ordained as a minister in the Unitarian Church. She holds a master's degree in divinity and PhD in African American studies. And of course, one of her sons is the famous comedian and TV star Dave Chappelle. Dr. Seong earned a bachelor's in arts degree with honors from Allegheny College in 1959, and a year later, the MA degree, as well as a Woodrow Wilson Fellow with honors from American University in American Government and Politics. In the summer of 1960, like I said before, Dr. Seong met Patrice Lumumba, then Prime Minister of the newly independent Congo, today the Democratic Republic of the Congo, on his only visit to the United States. She served as a secretary to the High Commission for the Inga Dam Project, the highest government position open to a non-citizen, equivalent to an executive director. The first American hired by the new government, she managed the commission and helped assure uninterrupted recordings of technical data needed for dam construction. So this sister was able to do that at the age of 23. This is Dave Chappelle's mom. I'm not talking about his whole family on his dad and mama's side. This is his mom. Powerful tree. So I had to thank his mom for her service to humanity, to black empowerment. I thanked her personally. And she really was shocked that I knew who she was or knew of her. She was taken aback by it. Because we don't know a lot about heroes and sheroes, or our sheroos and our heroes. And we don't honor our people. Because we lack a lack of acknowledgement or awareness of who we are. Because a lot of us don't really know our heroes and sheroes. Because we lack acknowledgement of who we are as individuals as well as collective. So I think, not to say for her service and also for producing such a remarkable son. And a highlight for me as I was mourning the passing of Baba Gregory was teaching Dave Chappelle some black history he didn't know, and some living black history at that. One of the people who were in attendance at the wake was a brother named Brother Mukasa Dada. Used to be known back in his organized and sneak civil rights days as Brother Willie Ricks, who was the right-hand man to Stokely Carmichael. I introduced him, or rather I introduced Dave Chappelle to Brother Mukasa Dada. I asked Dave, was he aware of who this guy was? He said no. I said, this is Mr. Black Power. This was the cat that inspired the phrase Black Power for Stokely Carmichael. This was Stokely Carmichael's right-hand man, Kwame Ture. If Kwame Ture is Michael Jordan, Brother Mukasa Dada is Scottie Pippen. So when they was organizing 50 years ago in Greenwood, Mississippi, Willie Ricks was using, as his name back then, was using Black Power. It caught on with Stokely. He announced it to the world at a famous speech at a park in Greenwood, Mississippi back in 1967, and the rest is history. So when I told Dave that, his eyes got wide. As you all know, Dave Chappelle has an interest in black history, especially American Civil Rights Movement black history, as you could tell by his last specials. On another note, Dave, you said that the woman who accused Emmett Till was dead. Actually, in actuality, she's still alive as far as I know. And her nephew, Phil Bryant, allegedly is the governor of Mississippi currently. But it was her sister-in-law that passed away recently. Not Carolyn Bryant herself. But she did confess to a historian who wrote a book. But that's another story. But it was amazing to see Dave Chappelle's eyes get big, and he had a wow. So I took a picture of Brother Mukasa Dada with Brother Dave Chappelle. And also Brother Mukasa Dada was there with Kwame Ture to help Dr. King, Martin Luther King Jr., complete the 1966 March Against Fear. That was a march started by James Meredith, but unfortunately he was shot by a white inferiority sniper. I don't call it white supremacy. I call it white inferiority sniper. While he was marching by himself on Highway 51, and Dr. King and his people came in to complete the march. But there's a picture, or there's several photos of Brother Willie Ricks, now known as Mukasa Dada, with his comrade Kwame Ture and MLK completing the march against fear. So, yeah, I hope it wasn't too long. And I hope to have more Dave Chappelle stories soon. I'm also in the process of trying to work out some way to interview his mom, who's a very fascinating woman. Even if she did not give birth to one of the greatest comedians of all time, she still would be fascinating. I mean, incredible family tree. The fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. Thank you, family, for listening to me ramble about something of substance. If you like the word from Brother Herb, please spread the word. Please donate, subscribe, make a one-time donation or recurring donation. PayPal. If you want to be a long-time supporter, go to Patreon route, patreon.com/weallbe. And we also got gear, you know, buy artwork, clothing, books, whatever. I'm in it to win it. We all be in it to win it. Thank you so much once again. In the words of the great Skeleton, we love you madly. Keep producing and pushing. Peace.